The Unfiltered Life, a story of finding identity beyond the screen. To the world, Mira was a collection of high-resolution highlights. She moved through the buzzing hallways of the high school like a curator in a gallery, her phone always raised to capture the perfect angle, the right filter, the aesthetic of her life. While others lived in the moment, Mira lived in the frame. Her identity wasn't a person, it was a profile, a carefully constructed grid of likes and comments that kept her anchored to the digital tide. But the glow had a shadow. When the notifications slowed or the comments grew quiet, the static would arrive. It was a buzzing anxiety that asked, "Who are you if no one is watching?" In the middle of English class, she would scroll through her own past posts, searching for the girl she was supposed to be. She felt like a puzzle with missing pieces, a ghost haunting her own digital footprint. What if she stopped posting and simply disappeared? Her favorite place to escape the signal was the small, forgotten courtyard behind the biology wing. It was a dead zone where the bars on her phone dropped to zero. There, the static faded, replaced by the rhythmic rustle of the oak tree. Mira would sit and watch the light move across the brick walls. Without the pressure to capture it, the world felt heavy and real. She felt a kinship with the old tree. It didn't need a filter to exist. It just was. One Tuesday, the courtyard was occupied. A boy named Silas was sitting on the grass near the oak tree. He was a year older, known for his quiet demeanor and the heavy, mechanical vintage camera he carried everywhere. Mira froze, her hand instinctively reaching for her phone to document the moody scene. But the static rose. Like a tide, she didn't want to be a spectator today. She wanted to be visible. Silas didn't look up with a judgmental glare or ask for her handle. He was focused on the manual dial of his camera, clicking it into place with slow, deliberate movements. He seemed to be part of the quiet, not an intruder upon it. Mira took a tentative step forward, her phone forgotten in her pocket. She watched him frame a shot, wondering how he could be so patient when there was no screen to show him the result instantly. "Don't you want to see how it looks?" Mira asked. The words escaped before she could check them against her online persona. She felt the heat rise to her cheeks, her fingers twitching for a screen to hide behind. Silas looked up, his eyes steady and kind. He didn't laugh at her question. He simply patted the camera's metal body and looked at the tree, then back at her. "I won't know until I develop the film," Silas said, his voice a low, steady hum that didn't spark the anxiety. "That's the best part. I have to trust that I saw it correctly the first time. I have to be there, in the light, or the photo doesn't exist." He looked at her then, not as a follower or a fan, but as a person standing in the sun. "I'm Silas. I like things that take time." "Mira," she replied. The name felt heavier, more solid than the username she usually went by. "I spend so much time editing that I forget what the original looks like." Silas nodded, as if he understood exactly what she meant. They sat in the courtyard together, the silence between them different from the silence of a muted phone. It was a shared space, a bridge instead of a wall. Here, Mira felt the static begin to dissolve into something clear and bright. "Sometimes I wonder who I am when the battery dies," Mira confessed, looking at the overgrown grass. "It's like I'm building a house for people to look at, but I don't actually live in it." Silas looked at her, truly seeing her. He realized that the digital generation wasn't shallow. They were just looking for a mirror that didn't distort the truth. He handed her the camera, letting her feel the weight of the real world in her hands. The next day, the hallways were still loud. The blue lights still flickered, and the static still tried to hum. But as Mira walked toward her locker, her phone stayed in her pocket. She saw Silas in the distance, and he gave her a small, supportive nod. Mira took a deep breath, feeling the strength of her own unposted thoughts. She wasn't just a profile anymore. She was a girl in a denim jacket, discovering that her reflection was most beautiful when it wasn't behind a screen.